Yeah, okay, got it. So, yeah,
So 40 big blinds, button versus big blind. It should be here. There it is, the first one.
yeah.
And then we're gonna alternate. I'm gonna do both.
Mm. Okay. I think I want to range bets.
Yeah,
30, yeah.
that sounds good.
Do we have a bet big here? No?
It seems like it is betting all kinds of sizes. We bet more than 80% of the time. We mostly just use the small size. But it is sizing up for value on this kind of texture with your best aces.
Mm-hmm. And does it do that before to charge the draws?
Well, it's gonna do that because there's too high, like even the 9, right? It's very,
Mm.
very connected for a board. So I think it's kind of normal. Give me 1 minute, I'll go get my coffee, then we'll start. the-
Yeah. Okay, no problem. I get coffee too. Yeah.
Alright,
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. I think it's a four.
yeah, it's gonna be an easy one.
Yeah.
So. What about this one?
It's got like the straight opportunities, two sides.
Yeah,
8 is good, 9 is good. 3 gives us a gut shot, 4 gives us an open. So draws backdoor, flush draws. So I think it's a continue C bet.
yeah, for sure, but for different
I
reasons.
think.
If we look at the overview here, if we look at ace high boards.
Yeah. Oh
Ace
yeah.
high boards are just range bet.
Yeah.
But did I tell you about my key card system?
Mm, okay, repeat please, because I don't know.
For this
Sure.
spot, I kinda have a key card system that works pretty well.
Mhm.
So here, whenever there's an ace, a king, a jack or a ten, we're likely to be range betting small almost always. And if there's like a seven, a six, a seven, a six, a five, or a four, that's gonna be the key cards for the big blind. Okay,
Mhm.
and if there's an ace, a king, a jack or a ten, that's gonna be key
Mhm.
cards for us.
Okay.
So if we get a flop with one of our key cards, we can range bet.
Mhm.
And usually if there's just one key card for the big blind, we can range bet.
Mhm.
The problem is when there's two key cards for the big blind. Usually we're gonna have to polarize when there's two key cards for the big blind. So I'm wondering whether like this is a spot where we polarize or if it's just a range bet. I think it's more of a range bet because we bet almost every time here. So let's give it a try.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it is never checking, but since there's two key cards for the big blind, we are using bigger sizes sometimes when we bet.
Yeah, it's mixed sizing.
Yeah, but
Mixed.
overall, we just bet almost every time here.
Yeah. Hmm. My, I think in game I would like to re-raise this, but I think it's wrong. But
Yeah, definitely wrong. To re-raise here, we need either a high spade or like overcards. Uh, we,
yeah.
we usually like need three components like overcards, a backdoor flush, a backdoor straight, and stuff that is going on. Here, I'd be surprised if this is a call, honestly. I think it's just a fold.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah, because we have like three to a straight, and then the backdoor flush, but it's
Yeah,
really
if,
really.
if we had the jack of spade, maybe it would be different.
Yeah. Can you look?
Yeah, with
And
the jack of spade, it's pure raising. But not with the five.
yeah. Yeah. I see.
We,
Yeah.
we need like always a kind of a high spade. Like 10-6 is not doing it, the 10 is not high enough.
Yeah.
But 10-7 is kind of is because of the straight interaction. But usually like you need a high spade to do it.
Yeah. Okay. This one, ace, king, jack, 10. But our queen is strong enough. I would say that we can bet.
It's just less of a bet. We still mostly bet it, but it doesn't work like the other ones because the
Yeah.
other ones have special properties when it comes to the turn as well.
And
Say you
yeah.
have like an ace high board, you see bet, he calls, you get like a king on the turn. You can bluff again with low equity hands because your range, this is a key card for your range. So if a key card comes on the turn or on the river, you can bluff it.
Mhm.
And say, for example, you have a key card, like the board is like the other time, ace 5-3. And
Yeah.
then you bet, he calls, and on the turn, the ace pairs. We're gonna very often use pot size when we bet.
Yeah. Okay. And
The queen doesn't really work like that. The queen is more of like a card we can bet a little bit on. That's
yeah,
about
but
it.
not. Yeah, but not blindly. So.
Yeah.
And I think this one is still a bet because I think like 10 and up, I would like to bet, and 10 and down, I would like to check.
I
So in
think I
this
would
case,
bet all the queens here. All the
oh,
queens, I would
oh,
bet all the nines. I would bet every time I had a single spade in my hand, I would bet as well.
Okay. Small bet. Yeah.
So like it is betting 80% of the time. So it's a bit tricky for a card because sometimes we're gonna bet it a lot and sometimes not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But most of the time we range bet it.
I see.
Then like if you have a single spade in your hand, you can bluff plenty. We're basically range betting here.
Yeah. This one. I think we can raise to small sizing, like to 78.
I don't think so because we don't have a high spade.
Oh, we have a low spade. Yeah, if there was another way, the other way around.
Yeah, if it was the other way around, I think it would be more of a thing, but with this pair of four, third pair, it's tough to raise. Let's see, it is already raising 15% of the time, so plenty of raises. But then I wanna see the jack four. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's tough to raise with third pair here, very tough. Usually, when you have these kind of board, you wanna raise with a dangler to the straight. So ideally, the upper dangler, so probably some eights.
Mhm.
Eights with a high spade, that's a very good combo to bluff. And then sixes a little bit, the other dangler, but it's always gonna be the upper part of the straight. Like, look at the trees here. Like,
Mhm.
the trees are doing it a little bit, but most of the time, you never wanna pick the bottom end of the straight. You
Yeah.
use the upper part, like, look at queen three here, you really need a high spade. And then it's even mixing, so it's really close, so. A
Yeah.
six, an eight, maybe a nine, something like this.
Yeah. If you do it on the lower side, then we have to be. It has to. How do we say it?
That, and then we
It
can
has
half
to.
lead a little bit here on this type of,
Yeah.
right? Just a
Yeah.
little bit. Alright,
Check. Check guys.
so here's something I learned from recent Andy stories we made. Have you seen the Joe hand history where he made the 60,000?
Mm, I don't think so.
No?
No. It's the session with you with and Joe for the 55.
No, not the 55, the 215 that was running for a couple of days. It's on the YouTube.
Oh,
What basically Joe did was
yeah.
that he uses a lot of one big blind bets.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And then Matt Affleck went over his end history after us because there was
Mm-hmm.
some part of it that we didn't understand correctly. And one of them was like, he was betting one big blind a whole lot, like very often. And so my sims don't have a one big blind bet. The smallest bet I have is 30%.
Mm-hmm.
So what we saw in Matt Affleck's webinar is
Mm-hmm.
that if we add the one big blind bet sizes, after it
Mm-hmm.
goes check, check, we can bet every single pair for one big blind.
Okay.
So here, what I'm saying is, if we had a one big blind bet, this would
Yeah.
be the perfect spot to do it because we can almost bet every pair for one big blind after it goes check, check.
And
So now we're looking at the second, third, fourth, fifth pair. If we had fifth pair here, the turn goes check, check, we bet one big blind here and that's gonna be amazing.
but
With my
w-
sim, it's not gonna be possible because I
yeah.
just have 30% and it's never gonna pick fifth pair to block bet kind of. So here it would be a check, but if you want to have a brand new nice exploit here, you can see that one big blind for every pair.
But like at the fifth pair, don't we get
Yeah,
called by the fourth pair?
yeah. It doesn't matter what we get called by, because people like, he's gonna, like here, this would be a great example. If we bet one big blind, he's gonna call sometimes with ace high.
Yeah.
And people really play poorly against the one big blind bet. For example, like some people are gonna fold like fourth pair to your one big blind bet.
Mhm. Faraz had like a similar session with where he uses like a 16% bet, but on those certain circumstances. But I have to rewatch the the video because I forgot when to use the 16% bet.
Yeah,
So I know there's a thing, and I also know that like a video from Charlie Corral with Ben CP.
yeah,
He also uses the like the one big blind bet, but also really like exploited it because versus certain opponents,
yeah.
go
Well, it
they
has
go
to do
crazy.
with how the hand plays, right? If you
Mm,
need a turn going check, check in order to
yeah,
pull it off.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So okay.
What about this one?
I would like to check this one.
Um, alright, I'm not sure. This is the kind of board that we don't really bet small on.
But yeah, check or bet big. I think it's a big blind board.
Yeah, it is, but my problem here is that we have some kind of interaction with this, with the five here.
Uh-huh.
So if we add the eight, I would fire. Here, I don't know. It's a seven high board with a straight possible. So look at this.
Mhm,
Seven high, where the straight is possible. We never
mhm.
really use the small size. When we bet it's big and we check almost half of the time.
Yeah, that was my idea.
So you said check, we're gonna check.
Uh,
It's not really a check, it's a bet big. Because we have
okay.
direct interaction with the straight. Let's see what other fives are doing in range. Yeah, most fives are betting. And then eights, sevens, stuff like that. And then upper dangler to the possible gut shot.
But on this board, I want to have like a percentage of my range that is strong when I check behind. So that's why I'm thinking about using this combo to check. But that's just my personal opinion because I think when I check this board behind, I would probably like a lot of the time I don't have anything on the 7-6-4 board. So that's why I'm thinking about checking. But I understand Pio says because with this specific hand, it likes to bet because we have like equity.
Yeah, the hands you
Uh,
want to check here is like a pair of six, a pair of four on this flop. Like queen six,
like,
jack six, 10-6, second pair is a great check.
mhm,
The fours are great checks. So you wanna kind of construct your checking range with your best ace eyes,
mhm.
best king eyes, and then your second pair and third pair.
Okay. Oh,
Okay, so that's a key card for the big blind, it pairs, so that's really bad for us. So when
mhm.
this card comes, I think we just shut
Check.
down.
Yeah, check.
It's not ready to give up yet. That's funny,
Oh, okay.
but now,
Yeah, I
now
think
it's impossible to continue.
we have Jack high. So unless we are versus a very, nah, I think it's a fold.
I was a fool.
Uh,
Oh, he was bluffing. He also was not gonna fold because he had the upper dangler.
mhm. Yeah, we blocked the straight there.
Alright, so how do you construct your strategy after a street goes check, check?
You mean if the flop is check, check?
Whatever street is check, check, you're out of position. How you can do you construct your strategy?
If I check with top pair, like this one and with a decent kicker, and then I would start to bet most of the time versus most opponents, I think. With draws, I will probably like a flush draw, probably like to still check to get to showdown.
First, tell me about your kings here. So we are gonna have all of these.
Yeah,
So what do you do with king, queen here? When it goes check, check on the flop?
but we are on the big blind.
Yeah.
Okay. With the strongest kings, I think I probably would size up
Yes,
like to 2/3,
yes.
like I think our strongest. I don't think I have king queen on in my range. I think I re-raise that.
Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't.
Okay. Okay, fine. That's okay. Yeah, till king 8, maybe king 9, bet big, and then the rest I would bet small. I think
What about two pairs here? King 6 and king 5?
Good question. Forgot what I was supposed to do there. I
So
think it's just
what you wanna do usually when a street goes check, check, you wanna size up with your best hands. So I'm guessing here, but I think we wanna bet big with most of these. And
Yeah.
then we wanna bet small with our worst top pairs. And then here the jack comes. So how do you structure your jacks here? Are you betting them big? Are you betting them small?
second pair. I think the best ones also like ace. No, ace jack we don't have. King jack is now 2 pair. So king jack I will be betting the big. Queen jack. Queen jack, 10 jack probably also big. And then the rest I think I will bet small.
With second pair, you always want to bet small with all of them. So our second pair here, the offsuit jacks, we probably bet small with almost all of them. But not the two pairs, jack 6, jack 5. We probably bet big with these, jack 5, jack 6. But second pair, usually you're mostly just betting it small. So let's see if our assumption is right.
Yeah.
Flop goes check, check. We get the jack of diamonds on the turn. Alright. So we are betting big with our best kings. We are betting big with two pairs. And here it's kind of sizing, if it bets the worst kings, it's betting them small.
Mhm.
But the jacks are not really betting small. They are just a sliver. But it's close.
What do they do? Because I can't see the check percentage.
We're checking 75% of the time here. We're betting 25% of the time. And our betting strategy is almost always around top pair or second pair. But here it's not very clear. Usually it's a bit cleaner. So bet big with your best kings, bet small with your worst kings, and you can bet small with your jacks here as well.
Okay, so there's no mistake there.
Nope. So I
If
think
I
we
bet-
wanna go 65 here.
Yeah, I think so.
It's not going 65. King 8 suited.
Clubs.
It's
No,
not.
it's just
Hang on. We, on the flop. Nine zero. So it's going 100% pot.
Oh, okay.
So pot size or over bet. So.
Yeah.
We need to bet even bigger.
Yeah, I can, it makes sense because villain check behind, villain, he could have a king, but I think most villains will bet all their kings.
Yeah. Here, I think I would want to block bet small. What do you want to?
Mm, no, I think we have to bet pot size again.
I don't think it's a spot to bet pot size here. Because of the nature of our kicker. But how would you, like? If we go back to the turn, how are our spades playing? See, our spades are mixing in the big bets here.
Mhm.
Or worse spades. So
Yeah.
here the spades break. So when we break with the spade, we probably need some fold equity. So maybe a big bet is good here. I'm not sure.
I
But
think because like the other one was also big bet, so I think
yeah, we,
situation doesn't. I think the three doesn't change villain's hand.
yeah.
So
So how are you gonna bluff with 10 deuce on this river when you break the river? You're gonna wanna bet big, right?
if I bluff, I think I want to bet big. Yeah.
Okay, so what size should we go for?
I think maybe. I think maybe all in.
No, I
Two
think
top.
all in, that's too much. Maybe pot. I think pot might be good, but what I'm sure is gonna be good is like 2/3, because when it fails, we don't lose too much. And then we kind of have a value hand here, so I'm torn between these two. Which one would you wanna pick?
Okay, then uh, let's meet us. Let's meet in the middle.
Yeah,
I'm down between 345 and 230. Let's go 230 then.
oh, well, you know what? You were right.
Yeah.
You're 100% right. Your instinct had it right. We need to go all in or over bet.
Yeah. That's what that. I don't know why, but something I said. I think you can have. Of course, you can slow play me, and then I'll be out of the tournament. But with trips or something like that.
I think that's really good. If we look at spades here, our spades
Uh,
are all using like mixing with the bigger sizes. So I think we nailed this one.
yeah. This one, we are at the button. I like the board,
Yeah,
but we don't have a queen, but we have a flush. I think our hand has too much, and even if we're behind, then we still have a lot of equity. So I think we can bet 65 here, but I'm not sure about the sizing.
I think we want to check here because we have third pair. If
Yeah.
we just had the flush draw, I would bet it.
Mhm.
But now we have third pair. So we need kind of protection, and on queen eye boards, we want to check a little bit more than on other broadways. And I think like third pair is a great candidate to check here. So
Okay.
I'll almost always check here if I can.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a 80% check.
Check. And if it bets like 15%, then it goes small. Yeah.
Yeah. You could
Okay.
bet small as well. It would not be bad, but when you look at these queen eye boards, we need to find a bit more checks than on the other ones, and like third pair usually is a great candidate.
And what do you do with the queen? Just bet all the queens.
All the queens are betting, half of the nines are betting. Well, the nines can check a lot, I think, as well. But like nines that have an overcard are always betting, 9 without an overcard are checking.
Mhm.
Let's see if this is right. So the sevens, see the sevens, if they have an overcard, they can easily bet, but if they don't, they like to check a little bit more.
Mhm.
The nines can bet with an overcard. But if they don't, they're kind of a great check candidate as well.
Uh,
So ideally, we want to have an overcard if we're bluffing with like second or third pair. If we don't, we can check. And we check half of the time here. So we need to find some decent checks. Um,
and
also, when you look at your flush draws here, I think it's gonna be a very interesting pattern.
yeah.
Look at ace king, never betting, ace jack, ace ten, not really betting, right? But the wheels are, and
Mhm.
then your worst king eyes are also almost always betting. Because
Mhm.
when we bet with these kind of hands, we can maybe get an ace high to fold.
Mhm.
When we bet with these ace highs, maybe we can get a better ace high to fold. And when we're playing with like ace king, we don't mind checking. Because if a king rolls off or an ace rolls off, and our opponent has like king jack, we're gonna
Mhm.
cooler him very, very hard.
Uh,
So that's
uh,
why
uh, uh.
these kind of hand like to check a lot, and these like to bet because we can get better hands than ours to fold. And then
Yeah.
if we look at the bottom end here, it's not really betting very much with the lower straights because it has a pair or like direct equity to the straight.
Mhm. Yeah. So the strongest ace king is most of the time also is strong enough even without the flush draw. And if we got like uh, a flush draw, like one spade, for example, uh, like ace five till ace two, ace deuce. I mean,
Yeah,
then we can bet.
yeah, exactly.
We get ace nine, ace ten to
Yeah,
fold.
exactly,
Ace 10, 10 ace jack to fold probably.
exactly.
Ah, okay.
So that's a very, very common pattern with these low king eyes, low ace eyes. We're betting because we can get better hands than ours to fold.
Yeah, I forget the kings probably.
Yeah.
So I have to focus on the kings also.
Yeah, have you seen the newest Justin Saliba webinars?
No, I want to watch them, but
If you
and,
can, you have to watch him. They're amazing. He talks exactly about this spot. Using
yeah,
the lower end of your flush draws to try to get better ace eyes or king eyes to fold.
yeah, yeah. I will.
Oh, it's really, really good.
I will.
Yeah, I think in like 5 years or 10 years, Justin is gonna be all over the place. Like right now, he's super, super underrated.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, uh, I, I saw something like one seminar from him, and I was very good.
Yeah.
So I liked it also from yeah from almost everyone.
Hmm.
Uh,
What do we do
uh,
now?
uh, now we have a made hand now, so we want to get money in the pot. 65,
Uh,
maybe even bigger.
since we checked on the flop, uh,
Oh, we did
think-
check on the flop.
I don't
Yeah,
think we get to size up here. I think I wanna bet small. Because if you think about his range, he checks twice. This board is kind of connected. If we
uh-huh.
bet big, it's gonna be, I don't know. I actually don't know. But I would
Yeah,
lean towards betting small because we check back on the flop.
yeah, and we don't get worse hands to call
We'll
probably
see.
also. Yeah,
It's betting all kinds of sizes. It's betting 65 the most.
okay, so I was right, a little bit right, but it's like 16%, so it's not that.
The thing is, when he checks the flop and checks the turn, we're dealing with the big blind range that is super wide, so I kinda wanna try to stick keep him in the pot, right?
Yeah, maybe hand like A7 or something
Yeah,
wants to. Yeah. This one, I think it's an easy fold. I hope it. No, we have back. Yeah, I think it's still an easy fold.
yeah. On a sideboards, usually,
Yeah.
we are way under defending.
Yeah. This one spikes the big blinds. We got something. So the last time we had a big blind board and we spiked something, we bet anyway, and we did go a little bigger.
Yeah,
So I think we have to bet like 65 here.
I think that you got the board, the texture correct. This kind of texture, we need to size up 65 when we bet. But we have
Oh.
third pair here and a draw. So if we are to build a checking range here, because we're gonna check half of the time and bet big the other half. I don't think we wanna bet big with a 4 here. I think we wanna
Yeah.
bet big with the 7, with 8s in our hand, with 9s in our hand, and with like naked flush draws that don't have a pair.
Yeah, like ace deuce or something.
Yeah, exactly. Ace deuce a spade. If we bet big with ace deuce of spade, it's very likely he folds like ace 9, ace 10 without the spade in his hand.
Yeah.
So I would lean
Okay.
towards checking here.
I can agree with that. Yeah.
So it's checking, it's mostly betting. Mostly betting, but it's checking 50% of the time.
Okay. Yeah. So both actions are decent.
Yeah. So
Uh,
now here, the ace comes on the turn and it's pretty good for us.
mhm.
So
I think like a bet of 65. It was check. Now he checks again. Or,
yeah,
or small.
I don't
Yeah,
think,
also-
yeah, it's the same as the last hand.
Yeah.
His range is so wide that if we bet big, it's likely that we're just gonna get rid of him. So at this
Yeah.
point, I think I would wanna bet small, but I'm not sure. Let's see. It's checking. It doesn't
Mm.
like the ace with our hand. Oh, he stuffs it on us. That's too bad. You know
That's easy
what?
fold.
At this point, I think he has like 8, 9, and he was just waiting for a good card for us to go in.
It's a little bit over. over,
Six, six, six,
over
five.
re-raise.
Like he's never doing that with the weekend here.
Yeah, I will fold this. I
Yeah.
will fold this 100% of the time.
Oh, the
even the-
bastard, the bastard.
Ah,
Wow.
that's fine. You can get.
Six,
He will do that
65
again.
of them. Yeah, we'll get him next time.
Again next time. It's not going anywhere. Yeah. It's an easy fold. Sorry, it's an easy fold.
Yeah.
Paired boards.
Yeah.
I think we can bet all pair boards small. Or I did remember that wrong.
Usually on pair board, we are betting small a lot. Especially on when the ace is paired, the king is paired, the jack and the 10. When the queen is paired, we're more cautious. And
And
you know why? I can tell you why the queen is not so good of a card for us in this scenario. It's just because we don't open every queen.
they defend everyone.
They defend every one of them.
Yeah.
That's just because there is more queen in his range than we do. So that's why
Yeah.
we're a little bit more cautious here.
Mhm.
And funny enough, yesterday Matt Affleck had a webinar where he showed graph from GTO Wizard. And GTO Wizard was not having the same pattern as I found with queens. It was putting it just like it was a king.
Oh,
So I think there might be a problem with their ranges because there should be a clear difference here because at GTO, big blind defends every queen. We don't open every queen. So there should be a discrepancy here. And I didn't see it on GTO Wizard yesterday. I'm not that Affleck's webinar.
But
Anyway.
what range is wrong? The GTO wizard or the?
I'm pretty sure it's GTO Wizard because usually my ranges are pretty clean.
Yeah.
I might make a mistake on SPR, I might make a mistake on bet sizes, but I start from pure GTO range from poker coaching. Anyway,
Yeah.
the king eye board, we were betting like 80% of the time. So we should
Small.
bet small here, and we don't have any big sizes on these kind of boards, right?
Yeah. And paired 8, 7, 6, 5s and 4s. Like the 8, 8, 9, 6,
Yeah.
6, 9.
Yeah, whenever it comes 7 is the real messy part. Because the 8 is almost like the queen, right? But the 7, if it comes 7, 7x, my God, we should check almost half of the time. It's really, these are good boards for him. Also, remember, the big blind, when it's paired, you mostly defend by raising. So we like see betting automatically here doesn't make sense because we're gonna get check raise almost every time.
Yeah, by good opponents that are aware, they're gonna check raise us out of there.
Yeah.
Okay. He c-bets pot size. I think we have to call.
Yeah, and what do you do here against a small bet?
I think our hand needs a little bit of protection. Then maybe we. Yeah. I think we have to raise then if he bets small.
Yeah, exactly. What do you do with, no, it's really good, I think. So we're gonna call and we're gonna make sure everything is good. We're even raising against the big bet 30% of the time. Look at this.
Yeah, that would really depend on what the villain is betting.
Yeah, when it comes to check raising like this, you need to be exploitative and cautious. Who is your opponent? If he's a big net, this might not be the best play in the book, right? But against most opponents, it's a really strong play. Really strong. So good. We spot the check raise.
Yes.
So here we check.
Let's go. We check, yeah.
Bets again.
This is a difficult one.
Is it?
I think we still have to call, but I'm really not liking it.
Well, if you're playing against under the gun here, it starts to be very unpleasant, right? But against the button, it's a piece of cake. Against the button is way too wide. He's like barreling left and right. So here, if he has like Jack 10, he's gonna barrel here. It's gonna barrel whenever he picks up equity here.
Yeah, when he spikes a flush draw with a 7 for clubs or something like that. Yeah.
So for me, you almost never fold top pair unless it's like a 4-liner or unless like something shitty happens, like the board pair, the flush comes in, the straight completes, a 4-liner. So outside of this scenario, we're almost never gonna fold top pair to this guy because he's the button and we don't respect him.
Yeah. My head was not in first place on folding, but it was between calling or re-raise all in.
Okay.
That was my thinking.
Okay.
But if we call, we can't fold any rivers anyway. But we want to let him keep bluffing with maybe ace jack.
But honestly, if we are playing this hand in game, I would call here and pray for check on the river. I think that's the easiest kind of line. So we call, check the river, and he checks back and we win. So for me, that's how this hand plays almost every time. Our worst opponents are just gonna see bet flop, then it goes check, and then we're gonna bet the river small. our
Mhm.
best opponent are gonna double barrel big on this turn.
Mhm.
And that's it. I think that covers up all the scenarios. I think honestly, if somebody ships on you on this river. Exploitatively, you might need to fold because people don't triple barrel bluff enough.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay.
But
Okay, yeah,
for-
clear.
Yeah,
Makes sense, makes sense. Pocket tens here. Spare board. With an ace.
it's really, yeah, so many concepts apply here. We have an ace high board that we know we should be range betting a lot. But then we
Mhm.
have these two sixes that we know we should be checking a lot on. But
Mhm.
we're still betting half of the time on these kind of board. And we want to have bets that are equity driven. So for here, if we have just one spade in our hand, it's easy because we can bet here. And if we spike a spade, we can continue on the turn. If we don't spike a spade, we just give up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that,
and he will call with hands like ace five, ace seven, maybe, or maybe he raises that. And then we get like extra equity when we spike a club. Is it a club? Yeah. For extra flush drawn.
yeah, and then you have to think about, he's gonna check raise a lot here. And then we can continue because we have the spade in our hand.
So I think we have to bet small. Yeah.
Yeah,
30.
and I expect to get check raise almost every time.
Ah,
Or when, sometimes he breaks. He was
ah,
checking a lot. Look at this. Mostly checking on this flop.
okay, so
These kind of boards are the boards we check all the most on. Because it's
even
a paired
yeah.
type of,
So the fact is that it is paired has more weight
yeah,
than the fact that an ace is on the flop.
yeah.
Yeah, of course. That makes sense, but yeah. 7-5. What's the first call? Oh, it's check. Yeah. I think I would like to check here again. Okay, thanks. Yes.
This is the first part. This is these
Mhm.
for out of position. So these are my notes for this spot.
Thanks.
Tough to get these notes, only Jonathan Little gets them.
Ah, great. Thanks.
Now. Check
I
on the flop.
Yeah, I think I'm a nit here. I don't want to bet.
I kind of agree, but also like, no, screw this.
I, I
Bad.
really, I really don't have anything. So
Yeah. We can just
that's
check it down and yeah, let him have it. It's fine.
if I bet every king queen calls, every pocket sevens, ace call, 7-6 calls. No. Um, 4-4 deuce, check. I would like to check, but
What if we had the eight of spade in our hand?
with an eight of spade, I still check. With a queen of spade, maybe I should bet.
Okay, so let's see. So it's a bet almost every time here.
Okay.
And I can see why, because like pair boards, when like stuff to, like the four is a good card for the big blind. But with this here, it's gonna be very tough for our opponent to defend well on this kind of texture. Actually, you know what? I think this is a bit of an outlier. Because with a paired key card for the big blind, we should be checking it a lot, but we're
Mhm.
not really checking here.
Mhm.
So let's look at queen eight. Queen eight is betting. It's just almost range betting here. It's betting 70% of the time. I don't think we're gonna find much patterns. This is a good card for us, so I think
Yeah.
we should bet it.
Yeah, 65, I think.
Let's try 65. It's more of a check. Yeah, we butchered this one.
Uh, uh,
Let's end it and move on.
yeah, don't think about it anymore.
Yeah. Well, look at this. He had auto folds on the flop that we let him catch up with on the turn.
Yeah,
So we get, oh, I see. We get a lot of better hands to fold when we see bet with this kind of board. Was it? What was the board? Was this one on the flop hero? I didn't see the pattern, but
uh,
yeah, now it's clear. Look at this. The bottom is bluffing heavy and kind of the top is not. So it's gonna pick like bottom of range to bluff and kind of the top part of the range, like a size, check a bit more. Whereas an offsuit eight almost never checks, right? A side checks a little bit, offsuit eights, bottom of the range, never check.
yeah,
So
because
this-
they got no equity then to,
Yep.
if it goes all card, if it goes to the river, they got no equity. That's the reason?
Yeah, exactly. It's just because we get better king eyes and ace eyes to fold.
Um, yeah, we bet, second pair, overcards, two backdoors. The jack is good for his range. At least I would like call, but I'm thinking about raising, but
I
I'm
don't
not
think we
folding.
have a good raise candidate here. Cause second pair, this kind of kicker. I think we have
It's
too
no.
much equity here to raise. If we had queen seven with the queen of heart, that would be a lot better. But this stand is kind of strong enough to just call.
I can live with call.
Yeah, it's mostly just a call. We
Yeah.
check here. He bets, he sizes, oh, he goes for pot. So what, do you think having a heart in your hand here is good or is bad?
I think it's bad because the chance that he bets with two hearts smaller, so he has more value.
Yeah, but the thing is, here's what I understood this week.
Uh-huh.
If he has two heart in his hand,
Mhm.
he has equity. Right? He
Uh-huh.
has a good 20% equity if he has two hearts here,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So that means we block a portion of his value here when we have a big heart like that. Because
Mhm.
we block some of his equity. It's less likely he has a flush draw.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Yeah.
Yeah, but the way I would put it before is it's
Yeah.
bad to have a heart here because we're blocking the bluffs, whereas now I consider blocking the flush draw as blocking a portion of his value.
Okay, so
Like before, I would say we're blocking the bluffs here, but it's not, when he has hearts here, he has a very serious potential end. Right? He has 20% equity, plus with this bet, he has fold equity, so his equity goes up. Right? And he's not empty-handed. He has 20% to get there. So
Mhm.
kind of a strong hand he has here when he has a heart. So it's not, I don't see it as a low equity bluff anymore. Whereas I
Yeah.
used to, not too long ago, I would see this as a low equity bluff. So I think since here we block some of his value, this is always a call. And then let's see if we have a heart, like let's look at queen 10, there's just pure calls, but look at queen of hearts. When it calls, it makes more money than when it doesn't have a heart.
Uh,
Do you see the little numbers?
yeah, I'm searching.
If you call and you don't have a heart, your call worth is worth 13 chips. If you call and you have a heart, your call is worth 15.
So you,
It's better to have a heart here.
okay, I have to think about that one.
Okay,
To
well, let me put
stand
it
that.
another way, because on the turn, when he bets,
Mhm.
he's gonna bet like some kind of equity hands. And the flush draw that is double barreling actually are really, really live to win this spot. So he's not bluffing with hearts here. He's betting with an equity driven range when he has hearts.
Yeah, I think it has to sink in. Maybe, maybe it
Yeah,
will come. But
now-
now I'm thinking,
Now,
but
on this river, on the river, it's very different because
yeah,
on the river, it missed, it brick. So
That's
now
completely
having a heart on the river, it's back again. It's bad. Because now we're blocking the 0-8, the hands that bricked in his range.
yeah, and the hands that, let's say as like king 8 of hearts, we still lose. Oh no,
Yeah.
we don't lose. We have second pair.
Yeah.
Ah. Yeah, it's a brick. So I think it's a check, and then if he rips it, I think that the chance is good. Then we have to fold.
I agree with that. I totally agree because now having the heart is bad. Also, having the queen is pretty bad because we block like queen 9, we block king queen, we block
Yeah.
stuff that miss. So
Yeah,
I lean towards folding here. Let's see.
me too. Yeah.
Yeah, mostly a fold.
Still 30% call.
Yeah,
I don't understand that one.
well, it's calling because it's good. If we didn't have a heart, we would probably call almost always. But with the heart, it has to mix. No, no, see, he wants to call more with the heart here. But
Call nine.
honestly, don't worry about it. It's just mostly a fold in this river. We
Yeah,
can call with our top pairs, we can call with tens. The thing is here, having the queen is really bad. Because we block like king, queen and queen 9, which are definitely bluffing candidates. So when we have a hand like 10-9, we don't block king, queen. So it's calling more often with 10-9 than with king, queen, queen 10. Or
Queen
king.
10, yeah.
These are bad and like 10-8 is better. Because 10-8 doesn't block the bluffs.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. This one, I think we have to bet, but I think bet small, 30%.
Okay, but what if a jack comes on the turn and your opponent has king jack?
Then if he leads, I would call or maybe raise. And if he don't lead, he checks, then I will raise bigger sizing, I think.
Okay, but let's go back to how we structure our flush draws. When we bet with ace jack here, do we get better ace highs to fold?
No,
And then if we bet with ace 3 or ace deuce, do we get better ace highs to fold?
then we do.
Okay, now, if we look at it the other perspective, if a jack or an ace rolls off and our opponent has a jack or an ace, we're gonna super cooler him. We're gonna play for a big pot and he's gonna lose,
Mhm.
right? So is it better to bet here or to check?
Oh yeah, we don't get. Yeah, I understand you now.
You
Yeah,
don't
we
get
don't
any
get-
better size to fold.
Then it's better to check here.
It's but much better to check here, I think. Let's see.
Yeah, I agree.
Never checking.
You're teaching me wrong, Louis.
I know, I know. So
But doesn't want to bet small then?
it is betting small with
Yeah.
almost all of the flush draws. But a very frequent pattern we're gonna see is that this area is gonna check and this area is gonna bet.
Yeah.
And it's not very clear here. It's like betting almost all of it. But honestly, I kind of knew it because 10-8 type of boards are really splashy. For these kind of board are really tricky to play. I've been studying textures a lot recently. Whenever it comes queen 10-8 or jack 10-8 or just 10-8, it's really interesting boards where we're gonna wanna size up, we're gonna wanna do all kinds of stuff. But if you want to like, so here it's a bit tricky as well with spades because it's not like very clear, right? Because usually you check here, you bet here, you bet here, and you check here. There's like two patterns, right? But
Yeah.
we can't really find it here. And
No,
you know what
it's
I like about the way I coach? You know, most professionals are gonna tell you something and you have to just trust their words, right? I have
Yeah.
a sim ready to prove me wrong anytime.
Yeah.
Alright, so we
Yeah.
should have bet the flop. Now what?
Yeah. Okay, now we check. So it's not really a scare. I'm not really scared of the 4. So I think it's I would like to think about it the same way as on the flop. So I mean, like if I bet what we don't get any worse hands to call. Yeah, maybe ace 5. Maybe ace 5, maybe 6. I don't know. I think we have to bet, but I check. I don't know. Check bet. I
I
don't know.
also don't know honestly, because we're building on a mistake. Let's try betting. It's a
Yeah,
check, sure.
of course.
Take a raise. A big raise.
Yeah. So
Jesus, we need to call.
do we? I don't know.
think we do. I'm not sure, but the thing is here, we need to call with some good cards and we have equity here. We can still get an ace and win, a king and win, a spade and win. Or we could already be winning with just the nature of the hand, so. Don't think.
Yeah, he could have a hard draw, of course. Yeah, he could have a hard draw, of course. Yeah. Okay, let's call, but not 99% call. Okay.
Not a pretty call. There we go. Now we got him.
Yeah.
We just stuff it.
Yeah.
So he was bluffing us.
Yeah.
A funky little raise on the turn from him. Wow.
Yeah.
Puts us in a tough spot.
Yeah. And there was, it was check turn. I would like to check.
Yeah, makes sense.
Bet. I think I have to call once.
We almost never fold to just one bet, but let's call. It's dirty, right?
It's not a good.
Alright.
I fold.
Oh, 9-8, just the straight on the river, just that.
Yeah. It's not much.
We played perfectly. We called when we had the best hand and we fold when we were losing.
Every time unlucky. Every time unlucky.
Yeah, he's a bastard. He also
Seven.
always gets the good board on, when he's the small blind, he gets the good board. When he's the.
When it's the big blind, he also gets a good board.
Yeah, 7-7 deuce. What do you wanna do here? Tough spot. Solver is not easy on us today. Good.
I think I want to check here. It's a 7 paired.
a bet.
Why? Just agreed that the 7 was bad for us.
Yeah. But it seems like whenever the deuce is the other card. Like 4-4 deuce, we've seen it, 7-7 deuce, seems to be the same thing.
Mm.
I'll have to investigate these a little bit more because. That's a part of the strategy that I'm not well versed into. When it's a 7 type of board with a very, very low card, we might be betting them a lot. But you know, it's a good pattern. Like, we need to be cautious here. So
Mhm.
like that. What do we do now?
The, wait, ace, king, jack, 10. 10 is a board of us, the card from us. I think we have to bet now, like 65.
I don't think that's gonna be good. Yeah, it's a bet small. Whenever we miss a C bet, you like to size up and I'm not sure if it's good. You mostly wanna use the small size on the turn.
Oh, yeah,
Whenever
so-
we miss a C bet and now we
Mhm.
know that it's time to bet, we're
Mhm.
never really sizing up. It's like
Wow.
you're trying to catch back the fact that you missed the flop C bet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so
Double the
that's,
turn, but that's not. That's not how, like, we can't recover our mistake during the same hand.
okay. Yeah. And I understand why we don't do that in position, because, but if we like are out of position, and let's say we have like,
I believe out
Pocket
of
deuce.
position, it's really good to do it because out of position, you need to be a bit more torque when you're trying to steal. So you're
Yeah, so-
incentivized, you're out of position, so all your like sizings are gonna be a bit higher from out of position.
okay, and in general also. So
Yeah.
with bluffs and with value.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, clear. Yeah. So check, bet 65, he calls, then he checks. We don't have anything. Or I want to check, or I want to bet big, but not
Yeah,
bet half.
with this part of the deck, we don't really ever bluff because it's kind of the middle of our range.
Yeah.
Okay, if we had the worst hand, it would be fine to bluff. If we had the
Mhm.
better hand, like a king 5, trying to get a better king eye to fold, that would be great as well. But this part of the middle of the range, it's rarely gonna bluff, almost never.
Okay, and then check. Yeah,
Oh, it was bluffing plenty here.
and big sizing also. Then.
Yeah,
But it was mixing. So like 60 check and 40 bet big.
yeah.
Yeah, then ace 3 got a difficult time to call when we bet like pot size there.
Yeah, definitely.
But we're out of the two. But we are screwed when he raises or calls. 5-3. We're on the big blinds. It's queen. Queen is good. It's connected. It's suited. I think we have to fold anyway. We don't.
Yeah.
Trying to look for reasons to call, but I can't.
Yeah, that was good.
I can't. Uh, this one is monotone. Monotone is most of the time betting small, what I remember. We have a top pair, so that's good. And I bet small 30, yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm still going bet small. Maybe I'm not happy, but still want to
For
bet like
me-
48.
For
Yeah.
me, we get to size up on this kind of turn. On monotone boards,
Mhm.
a bad turn for us is gonna be a 6, a 3, a queen, or a spade. But if we dodge all of them and we have a value hand, we're likely to just be betting 65% for value.
Mhm. Okay,
Well, you can check a lot.
check 80%.
Yeah,
Or bet big, or bet, yeah. Um, But on 4 he calls, then he checks again. I don't like an all-in, and I don't like a check, so bet 184.
Yes, I like that a lot. Oh my goodness, it wants to check.
99%.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, nothing to do. And then now he rips it and I should overfold the river bets, huh? Yeah, fold.
we should call this guy, but fold to population.
Yeah.
No, even this guy, we should fold against. Yeah. Easy fold spot.
Yeah. This one. We have like
Alright. So what do we have so far? 2, 2, 1, 2, that's 2, 4, 6, 7.
mm-hmm.
So we have 8 hours done now.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you wanna do? Do you wanna continue for another hour? Do you want to work on another spot?
Yeah, but I think for another spot, and then let's look at the how my stats are in the rain. The deeper runs, the more big blind spots.
Okay, yeah. Let's look at, you mean, look at your database?
Yeah.
Okay, let's have a look.
Um, let's see here. All right, sure. Now.
Okay, so in quick filter, we want to make it between 120 big blinds. Well, press quick filters, yeah. The filter editor, hero stack or effective is the same. Between 60 and 120.
Huh?
Okay, so your stacks are really good, but not from the button. Button is
No.
bad. Alright, so that's very acceptable.
Uh-huh.
But the button is not. If you look at your win rate from the button, it's really, really not good enough. You're at 16 from the button, and then
Uh-huh.
it should be around 35. So we're missing 20 big blind per 100 here. Now, press on the book on the top right. The little book,
Oh yeah.
and then click on the flop. It's on this row, a little bit down, higher,
Oh yeah.
and then bet flop percentage. The first one. So press on it, no, press on the arrow at the
Oh
bottom.
yeah.
Then on the left side, move it up. Move it up next to your position. Yeah,
This.
yeah, press OK.
All right. Bet percentage 58, 60.
Yeah, exactly. So you see bet more from the cutoff than you do from the button.
Hmm,
And if you look at your cutoff win rate, it's bigger as well, a lot bigger.
yeah,
Also, you three bet more from the cutoff. That's why you make more money. Your calls are better from the cutoff. So from the cutoff, you have a really, really good kind of strategy, but for the button, it's not optimal. So let's play some deep stack button play. Click on the button first off. And then are you like calling with, is it a cold call problem? Is it the range construction? Or are you raising against the blind and not see betting enough? It's one of these. Either you're
think-
raised against the blind and you don't see bet enough,
mhm.
either you cold call too much from the button and then you're not aggressive enough post flop. So go and net one big blind and make it, order it by the biggest loss.
No,
Okay,
this
so,
one?
yeah. So, yeah, show me the jack eight suited. Let's see how how it went.
No, it's,
Okay, so first off here, we are 60 big blind effective. How often do you think we should call here? Say the guy opened to a regular size.
mm, yeah, two, 2.5 big blinds, something like that.
Yeah,
Uh, yes, like on the bottom. I think it's 2.5. I think we can call, but now not anymore now.
have you ever considered three betting with the jack eight?
Considering I do, but no, I don't have. Um, uh, I don't do that enough with this kind of combo.
Okay,
And I
so
should.
go back a
Yeah.
little bit, go back to pre-flop facing the raise. So if we were facing here 2.5 big blind, 2.3, something reasonable,
Mhm.
this would be the bottom of our range. Like we don't get to play jack seven here. Okay,
And
so if he bets small, the regular size, this is the
Mhm.
bottom of the range. And we should probably three bet it more than we call because it's the bottom of our range.
Mhm.
When it makes it four big blinds, do you know how to adjust your range facing different like sizings?
No, I don't. Not good enough. No.
Okay, so Matt Affleck said that for every 0.2 big blind extra in the raise size,
Mhm.
you want to kill one pip of your range.
Yeah. So the range has to be like two pips stronger than this one.
No, because is usual, like he should be raising either 2.5 here or something, say 2.5, okay?
Uh-huh.
Now he's
Yeah.
going for 4x, that 1.5, right? So
Mhm.
for every 0.2 that there's extra big blind, we should kill one pip from our range.
Mhm.
That's like 5 or 6 pips, 7 pips, right?
Mhm.
So what
Oh,
I'm,
5 to 7 pips.
yeah, exactly.
Oh,
So
so it
we
needs to be
needs
more
to be
like.
a
Yes.
lot tighter than jack eight. It's
Yeah.
tough to guess, right? It's tough to
Yeah.
guess, but what we can guess for sure is that this is the stone bottom of the range against our regular open. So against
Mhm.
a bigger size, it's always a fold.
Mhm. Let's see what kind of stats he had. Because normally I don't versus normal players, I don't play that way. And I remember the name Yoda for some reason.
Huh? You got on your nerves? Show HUD at the
I
bottom.
think I think he's got on my nerves. Yeah, something like that. So
Yeah,
uh,
a bit
this
higher,
one,
a bit higher,
that's
lower.
oh yeah. Of
Yeah.
course. And now back. This is why 58-39. That's
Okay,
why
so
I
you
made it.
should definitely three bet this guy.
And this one was the original opener, 38-21.
Yeah.
So
So
that's why I'm really like did go far out of my normal range that I play.
yeah, so if he's a big live switch, you three bet him with this hand.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you just get out of the way because he makes it so that you can't play the same range against a
Mm.
bigger size than against a small size.
Yeah, but I still have to be more patient versus that.
Yeah,
That I think I get too excited that I want to like personal try
yeah,
to get him out of the tournament. That's not. I have to look at it like more clinical and more business wise.
yeah.
Just play my ranges and don't forget about the opponent. Yeah, yeah, and that's also the reason why I called with Jack 8 versus that all-in size. He goes to 12. Yeah. And then does this. This is really bad. He
Yeah,
also calls.
yeah,
This is
you should,
even then. Yeah.
yeah, you made a mistake. It's all good. Let's see
Yeah.
another
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. So yeah, this is not a good example of it.
Little punt.
Little punt, yeah.
So like this
Uh,
is like, it costed you like your win rate from the big blind, from the button. This is
yeah,
all the kind of spot where you lose it.
yeah, for sure. I make too big of over adjustment, and then sometimes probably I think I'm committed here, but I don't, and then I'm going with the hand anyway,
Yeah,
and I'm trying to undo that, but I'm trying. It's this is not this one, but, like this. Okay. Do you want to see this one, Louis, or you said
yeah,
okay?
for sure. Let's see
Okay.
it.
One.
Good,
Bit wrong sizing.
good.
Think
No,
two,
no, you
four.
squeeze them, it's fine.
I think 4 is better, but okay.
See bet small, that's good. Facing the raise, I think we
And here.
should very often fold here. You can call facing the raise, that's fine, but never raise back.
Oh, this is. Too excited over here. Show it. And show it. Yeah, and then probably I'm thinking, okay, I have taken the aggressive line. I need to continue that, and that's a mistake because
Yeah,
probably
definitely. Also, always keep in mind what your hand is trying to accomplish. You don't get better hands than yours to fold here.
yeah.
The better hand than yours are gonna have a pair, and on this type of texture, pairs are never gonna fold or never gonna like, especially on this turn, it's not a scary turn, so like
Don't
raising
forget.
back, when you raise back here, if he was check raising with ace ten, you're already dominating him. So that's why I say it's more of a either a call or a fold.
Yeah. Maybe the aspect that there is two clubs maybe thinking about, okay, I have a club, I need to play it aggressively, more aggressive, but still, you're right. I don't get a pair of nines, tens, or jacks to fold here in this spot.
Yeah.
Unless they think I'm a real net, maybe, but even then, I don't think like that. 70 big blinds. Oh. I think 3-bet is fine.
I don't think so.
No 3-betting.
What's your goal when you have a pair like this? What's the best case scenario for you?
Best case is that he falls.
No, 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 not at all. The best case scenario is that you call and everybody calls. And then a 7 comes on the flop.
Yeah.
And then they start to be up to no good. They start to put
Mm.
chips in the pot. And then you're in position with a set.
Yeah.
That's the best case scenario for you.
Yeah.
So you have to think about what you're trying to accomplish with what type of end. If you had ace king here, ace king plays better heads up. But this kind of pair, we're trying to set mine here. We're trying to get a 7.
Yeah. You want to keep the SPR high or the pot low.
Yeah, exactly. And then you want to have a cheap price to make your 7. And when you get there, it's
Yeah.
like, you need to like, that's how I would play it. I would never 3-bet here.
Yeah. Oh, and this one. I'm scared of what I'm going to do now.
Oh, I know you're gonna call because otherwise it wouldn't be in the bad hands spot, but this is always a fold.
Yeah, of course.
You know, there's a relation, look, go back a little bit. There's a relation with how much you have to call versus the quality of your hand,
Uh-huh.
okay? So here it's 40 big blinds we are gonna have to call. For 40 big blinds, we just never get to use a pair like 7s to call. I think we need like 10s to call here. 10s or jacks.
But it's like,
What would you do here if you had ace queen off?
versus a normal opponent, and when I play decent,
Yeah,
then I will probably fold.
okay, that's good. Because the price, you know, I actually got that from pre-flop ninja, I think. And all that work I did with HRC.
Yeah.
The price here, the hand range we need to continue with is in direct relation to the amount. Okay, so if it was 25 big blinds, like we couldn't fold with 7s. But at 40, it's always gonna be a fold with 7s. And the same goes for ace queen.
Yeah. Pure. Oh.
So it's really a question of price and the quality of your hand, but it's easy to figure out. So the gap is around 30 big blinds. Like around 25 to 30 big blinds, you start to call off with ace queen off and pocket 7, pocket 8. Above that, you want to fold these kind of hands because it's too expensive.
Yeah. 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 I don't know why I did this.
Oh, you made a mistake. It's normal.
Probably I'm tilting from another.
Possibly.
But this really looks like I got like 2 bad beats and I'm tired and now this happens. Something like that.
Last table.
Last table, I think. Screw it.
Fuck it.
I just lost with kings versus ace 3 again.
Again?
For the final table. Yeah.
Yeah.
That, and then I make this call, this kind of calls, and I hate myself even more.
Let's see this ace jack.
Versus ace queen. Probably a 3-bet this one. I think. Yeah.
Your
Is this
side
okay?
is a little bit sketchy. Do you
Right.
have, did I give you the chart for the sizes for three bets? I'm
I
gonna give
think
it to
like,
you.
okay,
So 30
I
big blind in position, we should make it 6. How much did you make it? 5? A little bit
5.
small. Just a tad small.
Oh, what I think like Faraz said it's like 2.5x and 3x we're gonna use with bigger stacks, but
Yeah,
okay.
I gave you the chart made by Acevedo, who's the like GTO specialist.
Yeah.
So that's my guideline.
Uh-huh.
The Faraz, his style is a bit more exploitative, right?
Yeah. 30. So stack depth 30, 28 to 35,
Yeah.
2.3x
Yeah.
should it be? Okay.
Oh, well, maybe you're right. Since you make it 2x, it's a bit less. So yeah, maybe this is fine.
Then it's 2.5x. I made it. And he's like 2.3.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe
Oh.
this is fine. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so our three bets, he calls. Okay. How did I do it wrong here?
Yeah, that's okay. Alright, you pick up
Ah,
a
they're
you
hard.
need to fire again. No, you need to fire here.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah,
absolutely need to bet here because you pick up equity. Whenever you, like on the flop, your C bet is gonna generate money whether you have equity or not. Okay?
Mhm.
On the river, your C bet is gonna generate money on whether you have equity or not, right? But
Mhm.
on the turn, all of your turn bets must be equity driven. And here you pick up equity, so I think you should almost always bet this turn.
Yeah. I think I think you're right. And now he probably shoves it, and I don't believe in my call. Oh no, he doesn't shove.
Yeah, this is a very bad call. Like you don't beat anything. You should never, 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 ever call like this on a three bet pot. Because people, they don't have good range construction when they continue against your three bet. You're gonna be either one of the two. The guy is either gonna call way too wide or way too tight.
Mhm.
And against a guy who's like usually way too tight, it's never good here. You have a heart, so it's like you can call a bit more often when you have the ace of heart in your hand. That's good. But
Mhm.
people don't bluff this spot. They just don't. And when they do, they're gonna show you ace king here. So
Yeah.
you don't beat this bluffs.
Yeah. I understand, but I really thinking about okay, but yeah, I don't know. You're right. It's three bet pot.
Yeah.
A three bet like what is his position? Uh, hijack,
Yeah, he's low jack.
low jack. So he's like middle position. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Um, I think I made it. Now here I go to three big blinds because we're like 100 big
Yeah.
blinds deep.
Yeah, that's okay.
I think it's a mistake. He calls. That's so fine.
Okay, I will put this one in the sim just to see how it fares.
Mhm.
A button versus big blind. And then the board is jack 10-9 with the flush draw.
Yeah.
Sim is loading.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the river call is a bad one. Yeah.
Okay, so on this texture,
Yeah.
you don't have any small C bets. Like on this flop,
Mm-hmm.
you should bet 80% of the pot.
Or check or bet everything 80%.
Bet everything 80% of the pot.
Okay.
It has like a little bit of small bets. But in reality, check it out. It's
Mhm.
almost always betting big, 75% of the time. It never checks.
Mhm.
It's like a range bet big here.
Okay.
Say we bet small, he calls, what's the turn?
Uh, let me see. The turn. It's a 5 of hearts.
Does it bring in the backdoor flush?
For me, it brings. I get a flush draw with the king 7 of hearts.
Okay,
Uh,
so on the turn, you should be betting big again.
uh,
Either 80% pot or over betting.
mhm. Overbetting is like a 1.5x.
Yeah, exactly. 150% pot.
And then on the river,
I don't think we make it to the river if you bet small and bet big.
yeah, true. Then he goes out with his 4-7.
Yeah, and then what's the river? It's like
He made the flush. He bets. I call the river is king. I made top pair, and he made flush, and he goes half pot.
so he leads into you with alpha.
Half pot. He leads into me for half pot. Yeah.
So the solver, when played with this line, it's never calling the river.
King 7 of hearts.
Yeah, never calling the river. And then,
Raises.
no, it's just folding, mostly folding. And then I didn't notice, but is there a 4-liner to the straight?
Yeah.
So whenever you have, you're looking at a 4-liner like this, you should almost always fold single pairs.
Yeah.
Because 4-liners are really, really bad equity wise. And on a 4-liner, you have plenty of straights, you have plenty of 2 pairs, you have plenty of stuff you can actually defend with. You don't need to dig into top pair. Oh,
Yeah. I see it now. We play the hand. I see it like So betting much more aggressive on the flop and on the turn. And if the king spikes, then if he bets leads into me, if he's still in the hand, then I just have to give it up.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I agree with you there. It's,
Sweet, share the screen again.
yeah, sure. Share screen. This one.
All right, let's see another one.
Yes. Ace 10. Do you see it or not?
Yeah,
Okay, that's good. 4.5
again,
big.
yeah, when he uses sizings like that, you just need to get out of the way.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Let's see if he got like idiot stats.
For sure he does, because he's opening 4.5 fix with queen 8 from under the gun. This guy is
Yeah.
up to no good for sure.
Yeah, and then I make like over adjustments and I want to I just have to play
Yeah,
clinical versus that kind of opponents.
exactly. He makes it easy for you to play linearly.
Yeah. 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 And now I'll make the call, of course.
Yeah, I would three bet before I call here.
Yeah. And if you fold bets, like I have an easy fold,
Yeah,
and otherwise he will fold.
yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, easy fold.
Easy fold. But make the call.
If you want to make a hero call here, it's simple. You need a diamond in your hand. So if you had the ace of diamond, it would be a fine call. With this here, it's a terrible call. If you don't
Yeah,
block value here, you just fold. You need
Yeah.
to, when you're looking at hero calling, you need to block value. Here value is gonna be the straight, the flush. So you need like a nine, a king, a queen, or a diamond to call here.
like a 9 of every.
Yeah,
Kind
every
of.
nine is good. It would be a good blocker because then you block queen nine, you block nine, seven. So a nine is really good to have in your hand here if you're looking at hero calling. And then
Mhm,
you have a diamond. You absolutely need a diamond to hero call here.
mhm. Yeah. Yeah, it's. I see now it's like a rebuy. It doesn't make the mistake small, of course, but yeah, it explains a little bit, but it still have to be a fold. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Aces. Nice. Against 4-5. It's
Oh boy.
gonna be.
So
But
what is-
here I make a misclick. This was a misclick. This is not the
Yeah,
normal play.
yeah, I believe
I
you.
didn't. I never do one big blind three ways.
Oh boy. That's good.
I think I just rip it or not.
No, min clicking is good here. I like that.
No, I go to
Hmm.
145.
You're way too deep to do stuff like that. Way too deep. So what you wanna do here, make it 15 big blinds.
Yeah, okay. But that's the reason why I do it, because he called.
Yeah, sure. He calls, sure. That, you know, like, it is
Yeah,
not
you're right.
very sound.
Yeah. I just have to forget about my plays versus that opponent and just play my normal ranges and normal way of playing.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, but sometimes like in history, I see that kind of people doing like really stupid things. You see it also with the 8-5, 4 times big blinds under the gun.
yeah,
And I see that and I think, okay, now I got this. And if I do like this, like really extraordinary, they're gonna call me.
yeah,
So then I make a really extreme adjustment to how I play normal, of how I should play when I play good or decent. And then, yeah, sometimes they bite back. So I over adjust to that kind of opponents. So I just need to try to play like
you know,
normal.
the best spot to have this kind of leveling war is with your
Yeah.
three bets.
Okay.
That's the best spot. You want to three bet bluff a lot against kind of the same opponents until you get on their nerves. And by the time you kind of get on their nerves, you make sure you have a good hand.
Yeah.
know? You just three bet, three bet, three bet, three bet, and then at some point they're gonna click and they're gonna start to shove every time into you or four bet every time.
Mhm.
At some point, you're gonna catch a good hand and you're gonna be able to play.
Yeah.
So it's like you drop the hammer on them, drop, 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 and then they have enough. And when they have enough is where you start to make even more money.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. I will keep that in mind for sure. It's good, very good advice. Checks on. Did I lose much? This is okay, I think, for X here.
Yeah, this is good.
Through limp.
Okay, we're gonna have to call. See the flop.
Yeah, I raise here.
This is never, I don't think,
Oh.
because this guy, like, he finds one of his rare bluffs. But for him, it's probably a value hand. So this is never good because they don't bluff enough. And this type of hand, you really benefit from seeing a flop.
No, I got two little lands. Yeah, I should have.
You just call here.
Yeah, sure. And my mind was like, Jax is a monster on the button.
Yeah, no, it's not strong enough for seeing a three bet.
Yeah, okay. And then I don't believe him, of course.
Yeah,
Goes
but
on.
here, if you want to call, the first thing you need is a club. If you have a
Yeah.
club, you can call a little bit more, and then you have an under pair. You just never call 35, 36 big blind with an under pair. I've done a lot of database analysis. Whenever a betting round goes past 20 big blinds, okay? Top pair, top kicker is almost never good.
Yeah.
It's
At
good like
least
5% of the time.
You need at least to have like a two pair, or
Yeah,
depending on the board, of course.
yeah.
If it's like four clubs, then probably two pair is also not good enough.
Yeah, I think this hand here, that's one of the weakest hands he turns over. It's always
Yeah.
gonna be that or stronger.
Yeah.
Also, remember, he's the big blind. It's easy for him to call your three big blinds more and realize full equity on the flop.
Mm.
People, they like to call. They call too much. And they don't bluff enough, especially pre-flop. So on this spot where he's incentivized to call even more, but he doesn't, that's already alarm bells for you.
Yeah, for sure.
Like
Yeah.
I think they should be three betting like 16 or 17% from the big blind. And it's not happening. They're like 8 or 6% three bets. And on this type of spot, I think it's probably more like 4%.
Yeah, the way they play on the iPoker tourneys, they like call. So if there is like one call, then two other people will call, and then you make it like 8 big blinds, and they all call.
Yeah, sure.
With garbage.
Yeah.
So then it's like pocket tens are like worthless on a queen 7-3 board
Exactly.
almost.
Exactly.
And then it's really difficult to play. So
No, it's kind of easy because
Maybe.
you bomb the pot when you have the best hand. And then you play kind of perfectly post flop because it's easy for you to figure out. You're super multi-way. There's an overcard, you're just beat. So you just have to accept.
Yeah, for sure.
You need to create EV plus spots. And when you have a strong hand like this and you squeeze a limper, it's great.
Yeah, but they also have like a lot of, for example, I got like ace queen here. They also have like a queen 8.
Yeah,
or
but
eight.
remember also, most players are loose passive.
Yeah, for sure.
So when they start to bet and raise, it's not good.
Yeah,
Like
then you have
that.
to overfold. Yeah, then I need to overfold for sure.
Yeah, because they're loose, especially the loose passive, the high VPIP, low PFR, low three bet. Like these are like the worst players because whenever they start to bet and raise, they just mostly have the nuts and then they find a little crazy bluff sometimes, right, as well.
Yeah.
So it's kind of tough against them. But whenever they raise, usually you just fold. Like the first few times they're gonna raise, they're always gonna have it. Then at some point they realize they have fold equity, so they start to overdo it. And that's where you catch them.
Yeah. Yeah, great. Yeah, sure. This one is 5. Two. Oh yeah, 2 big blinds he calls. Should I 3-bet this one? I don't know.
I think it could be a good candidate. Let me see. Tools, pre-flop charts, 100 big blinds. We are from the button facing cutoff, definitely. 50.
Multi-way. Versus under the gun limp and cutoff call. No,
Oh,
versus
okay,
under the
no,
gun
no, this
raise.
is a huge mess. Okay, I see. So under the gun open cutoff calls.
Yeah,
Definitely. It's 60% of the time should be 3-bet. So like, say you're multi-way, this should be your strategy. From the button.
and okay.
Also,
Look at
like, it seems like almost every time it's when you call the button. And then you kind of get mixed up. From the button about how you should play post flop.
mhm,
So I think you should call a lot less from the button with these kind of hands, exactly what we're looking at here.
mhm.
Okay, you should think more in a sense of trying to make strong hands. Okay,
Mhm.
when you're bluffing, you're only bluffing small in these kind of spots. So for me, it's very clear, okay? Out of position strategy, at GTO, he should check half of the time and he should, when he bets, he's betting big. And on our seat, when we call from these kind of button spots, on the flop, we're checking half of the time, and when we bet, it's always small.
Yeah. I think the reason why I why I call here is like the stats of this guy is like 64, 46, 8% raise. So that's why I probably was my thinking about, okay, if I 3-bet them, I'm gonna be like versus a stronger range than will be normally against.
You
If
know
that
what
makes
I would
sense.
like you to do?
Yeah.
I want you to have a 3-bet only strategy from the button.
Okay.
So you look at your hand, and if you wanna play it, you 3-bet it.
And don't.
And if it's
fold.
not good enough to 3-bet,
Uh-huh.
you don't play it.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I will try that. So no calls on the button.
Yeah, it's mostly like we're looking at deep stack from the button when you overcall, right?
Yeah.
So I think at shorter depth, your EV was better. So you don't need to 3-bet as much, and like your calls are more. What do you think is different between your strategy when you're short and deep here? Because there should be a difference.
I think like it should. I think I'm like able, more allowed to play like hands like 7-8 suited, like implied odds hands. I can
Yeah.
play more, and I with like 100 big blinds, I can 3-bet them. But my value goes down from Broadway hands, like bigger stacks, like King Jack, King
So
Jack kind of hands, Ace Jack kind of hands.
So when you're shorter, you're generally playing better hands. Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
more broad. Yeah, more when I short, I play more Broadway.
Okay, well, that's what I want you to do here.
Okay.
So like you
So
make adjustment when you're short stack and you're playing the button. Right? And like, I want you to play exactly like that, but from deeper stacks.
mhm,
If you have a borderline hand like this one that you kind of want to see a flop with, that you think is
yeah,
gonna be fun, Well, you should roll, get like a RNG, a random number generator. You
Mhm.
spin it, and then you either fold or three bet it. If you're looking exactly at this scenario with the hand like king nine suited. Right,
Yeah.
and you don't know what to do. You should either like three bet it or fold it. Simple
Mhm.
as that. You're looking at jack nine suited here.
Mhm.
You're looking at, I don't know, you wanna play a suited king this time, king six suited. Right? If you want to play ace four suited and try to make the wheel. But you should either like pure three bet it or fold it. From this
Mm.
stack depth, from this position.
Yeah. I agree. With my, but with
Alright, I
I'm
have a
thinking about,
question for you though, Roger. If you have
yeah.
like a hand like pocket ten here. What's your play and why?
I think because it's like under the gun race and a call. I think I would like to call this to hit my trips because normally I'm not very happy to play a big pot, even though it's in position, but play a big pot versus a strong under the gun range.
Yeah, that's
So
perfect. That's perfect. You just call, you try to hit your ten.
exactly, and because it's like an under the gun race, that's my strategy of way to think about it. And the other thing is like that's why I also like three betted, but it was wrong, of course, but also three betted my sevens earlier because it was more late position. So that's why I think okay, I want to. It was a mistake. I agree, but
It,
that
it
is
kind
my
of, it kind of worked, but with the other type of hands. Like
yeah,
you understand that whether the positions are moving,
yeah,
our range is moving with the
yeah,
positions. But
yeah,
with the small pairs, you just want to very often see a flop, hit it or not.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's also my reasoning for the ace five call. Is I think if I spike it, I have like the nuts, I have position, and if I would have like a hand like ace five offsuit with loose openers, then I would consider the hand three betting. And if
No.
I, yeah,
Here,
that's
like
yeah,
here in this scenario, if you
mhm,
have a hand like ace jack offsuit, it's a fold.
yeah, 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 yeah. Of course, yeah, you're right. It's too marginal at 30 big blinds maybe. 35 it can be maybe a three bet fold, but here it's too big of a stack to waste. But you still want to three bet ace five suited. Louis.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. Here, you either three bet or you fold, one of the two.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Clear. Yeah. I'm trying to now three bet my hands from the button or just throw them away.
Yeah, and play it more like you play short stack, more Broadway.
Mm, yeah, but then. mm, But like hands like 7, 8, 9, 10 suited, 10 jack suited.
Okay, hands like seven, eight and nine, ten suited. It might not seem, but they're extremely different. Okay,
Mhm.
eight, seven suited is garbage. It's junk. Okay, and nine, ten suited, you can make a very, very strong hand. Or if you hit a pair. And if you have top pair, it's likely to be kind of decent. So those two hands, even though they look very similar, right? Eight, seven
Mhm.
suited and nine, ten suited. They're miles away from each other. Look at the chart I sent you on Discord.
Okay. Yes. 7, 8 suited, half the time raised, 9.
Do you see 7-6 suited?
Yeah, it's calling. But it's
Okay,
green. It's green.
so whenever a chart like this has a hand that is mixing, like we see. Okay,
Uh-huh.
I think it should be completely removed from the strategy.
How do you mean?
Whenever there's just one sliver of folds, I think you
Mhm.
should absolutely remove all of this. Hand. Okay, because you and I are never
Mhm.
gonna be able to play profitably with the bottom of the range.
No, for
And
sure. Yeah.
whenever a hand is mixing like this, it is the bottom of the range. Look at how often 9-8 suited is folding.
Mm.
8-7 suited is folding. 7-6 suited is folding.
I think like the
So this, honestly, it's fucking junk. It's gonna be impossible for you to play it well. Or very tough. So
but the- yeah,
like,
but the yeah.
if there's two adjustment, I can highly suggest here for you.
Mhm.
I'm gonna give them to you on plain.
Mhm.
Um. So say these hands. Let's make it red.
But we should play like a different kinds, different bucket of hands when we are deep stack. Uh,
Uh, buff. The good hands are the good hands, whether you're deep stack or short stack, okay?
mhm.
So do you see the red marks I did?
I see. Yeah,
You should never play these because it's gonna be very tough for you to play them profitably. It's the hands that the solver himself has a hard time to play profitably.
yeah.
So you should
That
always fold them.
make the strategy much more easier to play deep stack. Yeah.
Yeah,
But so don't play those hands at all.
no, you don't need to. You absolutely don't need to.
So I just fold every time I get 7, 8
Yeah,
suited.
yeah.
Oh.
You can open raise them, but like if you face another gun open and then the cutoff call, you should just get rid of them because it's the bottom of your range. So if you kill the bottom of your range, you're gonna have a very strong strategy every time. This, for example, this is the strategy. If you open the button and the big blind three bets you, and this is your calling range.
Again, so the I open and the bottom 3 bets.
No, you open from the button and the big blind three bets you.
Oh yeah.
So this is a heads up scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I believe, you know.
So with the jacks like earlier, Yeah. Queen, from queens up, queens 4 bets. More. Yeah, okay. Everything calls. Yeah. Yeah, makes sense.
Like this here.
Mm,
So I think like all of the hands that I took out are never
Yeah.
gonna make money against population when they're looking at calling three bets.
Can I do this?
I think if you call three bets with these kind of hands, you're gonna lose your fucking ass. And the chart has them calling, you know,
Mhm.
but it's like, you shouldn't do that. You straight up shouldn't do that because that strategy has been made against a guy who does this.
Yeah, versus a really good and aggressive big blind, and the population is not that good or aggressive, so we have to. I have to let go of the weaker part of the range.
Yeah,
It's like that. So because they are not that aggressive and they 3-bet not enough, my range needs to be much stronger to continue versus those 3-bets.
exactly.
Uh,
Like this part of their range does not
Yeah.
exist. Like people are not out there three betting you with ace-6 offsuit or like 9-7 suited.
I agree. Yeah.
You never get shown 10-6 suited. They just don't find this stuff.
It is. They
So
don't
if
have
they
it.
don't find none of these, you don't need
Mhm,
to defend perfectly.
mhm,
You can exploit them. So what Bert Stevens said in one of his streams recently, he
mhm,
said you should always overfold to their three bets because they don't bluff enough. You need to make the adjustment. And the
mhm.
number one adjustment is that people call too much pre-flop. That's the number one.
Yeah.
Number two, they don't bluff enough, especially post-flop.
Mhm.
So these are the two main adjustments you need to make. And then you need to adjust your chart based on that. Because if you play by the charts against guys that never bluff, it's gonna be difficult.
Yeah, it's thin ice, very thin ice.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I think like there is like 2 parts. Like 90% of the population does like this, does the overfolding, and the other 10%, maybe it's 5%, plays like the idiot ranges, like we see before in the hands, like 4x, queen 8 suited under the gun. So versus that kind of players, I can be a little bit more loose, but not that loose that I did like encounter with the Jack 8 call all in versus the really aggressive guy.
Yeah.
So I can adjust, but not too much. And versus the rest, I can overfold, especially the bottom of the range.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Clear. Yeah.
You want to
Try.
work especially like on the bottom of the range.
Mhm.
It's gonna be very tough for you to make money with it.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. All right. Okay. Okay. Okay.